You know when you do something stupid the day before, and the next day, you wake up to the ultimate regret. Now I know what you're thinking, but this was way worse. Meet some of the best partying college students in the world. They were partying and living so hard, like backup dancers in a Sean Kingston video. The party was so vivacious that this man right here asked everyone to put their phones in a bag and enjoy the moment. A very stupid decision looking backwards, but the moment could not be more perfect. Out of nowhere, they found a slimy ball of egg on the beach and everyone was curious. The party went on until daybreak and everyone woke up, either tired or with no clothes on. But in the moment, it was still worth it. This lady, who obviously had no idea where her clothes were, started to puke. Immediately after, she did something mundane that somehow turned into something extraordinary. She stepped on the floor. But something weird happened when she did. She could not move. Before she did, her friend Marsha asked her not to, but it was too late. Marsha saw the sand swallow a bird right in front of her eyes. She was very smart and realized the sand was infected. She began sinking and everyone thought it was a prank until they realized how serious it was. This guy left his girlfriend in the car to help her, but he did not get very far. The sand began to devour his eyes before he could really see what was going on. Now everyone was in total panic. They started figuring out what just happened. How was everyone happy and walking all over the beach the night before, and now everyone was gone? There was enough chaos around them. They did not realize they had lost more friends. The beach giveth, and the sand taketh. Marsha had a great idea. They could not stay on the beach forever. They needed a way out. So she started throwing sausages to see the extent of this sand infection. And after many tries, they figured out a gray zone. Everyone was happy, but out of nowhere, in the middle of the day, woke up a man named Gilbert. Gilbert was frustrated and fuming that someone played a prank on him by placing him in this large barrel. He was large enough, you actually start wondering how they even lifted him into it, but everyone had to tell him their predicament. Marsha's ex-boyfriend, Jonah, who was hooking up with a woman named Chandra, decided to play hero, and he was doing just fine until the monster in the sand got mad. Instead of reacting, it started becoming proactive, and maybe Jonah could have avoided what had happened to him if he was fast enough. But he took the time in the middle of his journey to talk about Marsha hooking up with someone else when he was doing the same thing in his car. Jonah was in pain. He had been infected. At first he thought he was safe, finding a safe ground after being bitten, but it turned out the damage had already been done. Somehow eating the banana made it worse, and both of his girlfriends tried to talk him into doing the right thing. Marsha wanted to think and plan properly, but another man named Mitch wanted to be heroic. Maybe she could steal Marsha from the ex-boyfriend she actually wanted. Marsha warned him, but he did not listen, and he ended up where he belonged. I want to say on the ground, but that would mean he just died. What happened to him was worse than death, so we can say he died for love, a one-way love. Marsha got mad at this thing that was taking away all her friends and made a decision to fight back. She passed a bunch of rods to the lady her boyfriend was cheating with and finally jumped into the car. She could not help herself, punching her in the face for sleeping with this man, and now she was totally at peace, forgetting the guy who just died for her. She was focused on getting back to Jonah, the guy who cheated on her. They built a walk on the sand, and most of them passed on successfully, but the last woman couldn't make it. Her blood was leaking from a cloth, and the infection could smell it. She tripped, and nothing was happening for a while, but she was eventually swallowed. They cried for a bit, but all Marsha wanted was to have Jonah in her arms. Gilbert could not be more excited. They were getting closer to a way out of here. The next step was to get to the police car, and Chandra was bold. She tied her feet with a bag and a cloth and ran to the car. Interesting factoid about this police car. In the midst of their misery, there was a glimmer of hope when the police arrived on the scene. They tried to persistently warn the officer about the sand, and he thought these were a bunch of college kids on drugs. For a moment, he was completely safe. He walked on the beach unscathed, but his key ended up falling into the sand, and he died an unnecessary death, all because he had a hearing problem. The police car became their road to freedom, but Gilbert's happiness was short-lived. He somehow injured himself in the barrel, and the sand feasted on his blood. He ended up losing his life before they could save him, and now there were only 3 left. But the monster was growing stronger and bigger, striking the police car, which made Chandra pass out. The day passed into night. This time, there was screaming once more, but not for fun. Marsha was screaming Chandra's name for help. She woke up out of her slumber and found some equipment that could help Marsha and Jonah get to the police car. And they were successful, but this jellyfish-looking monster wanted one last hurrah. She ended up in a battle with Marsha and tried to burn as much as she could, but the monster kept fighting even after they were safe in the car. They all slept, but Jonah slept into the afterlife. He died. The sun rose and an innocent bystander came to knock on their window. They woke up from their sleep, exhausted, and Marsha tested the sand to see if it was safe. It turns out it was, and Chandra came out too. They walked on the beach together, aimlessly, leaving behind the one thing they were both fighting for. Moral of the story?